You'll regret buying a new construction home in Moncton. Hey guys, in this video, we're going to cover 5 important things to know before buying a new construction home in Moncton. We're going to cover things like, can you afford a new construction home? New construction home value versus a lived-in home? Maintenance-free living? Reputable home builders? And new home warranties. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is, can you afford a new construction home? So the reality of it is that you might think that a new construction home is way more expensive than a 10 to 12-year-old lived-in home, but the reality of it is the difference in price is not that big. So for example, let's take a 10 to 12-year-old semi-detached split entrance home and compare it to a new construction split entrance semi-detached home. The average cost of a 10 to 12-year-old lived-in home would be anywhere from $300,000 to $315,000. So let's call it $310,000 on average. A new construction semi-detached split entry home averages between $320,000 to $325,000. So the gap is anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000. So let's take the higher side of things just to calculate. Let's say it's $20,000 more for a new construction semi-detached home compared to a lived-in semi-detached home. Your approximate cost in mortgage is going to be about $100 to $125 a month more. So that's approximately $1,500 a year more on your mortgage for a new construction home. And when you compare the two in terms of other expenses related to the home, the new construction versus the 10 to 12-year-old home will be very similar in terms of property taxes, insurance costs, but there's also things a new construction home might be less. So the cost might be less in terms of heating costs and other expenses related to the home. So the second thing we're going to talk about is a new construction value compared to a lived-in home value. So we all know that your property will appreciate year over year. Historically, it has always been like that for properties in general. However, the appreciation rate with a new construction home might be higher, especially in the first 5 to 7 years, since everything is new, everything is maintenance free at that point. So the true value of the property, it's at its peak in the first 5 to 7 years. So like I mentioned earlier, for the extra that you pay for a new construction home compared to an older home, you're going to be in a way better financial position, especially if you're planning on keeping it for 5 to 7 years and then go into a bigger home. Well, when you go to sell your 5 to 7-year-old semi-detached home, you'll be in a way better position in terms of saleability and condition of the home. So the next thing we're going to talk about is maintenance-free living. So it's pretty obvious that your new construction home will be pretty well maintenance-free for the first 5 to 7 years compared to a 10 to 12-year-old home will need a lot more attention, will need more repairs and maintenance that needs to be addressed. So a few examples of that for a 10 to 12-year home, you're going to need to address soon after the roof condition, which can be anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 to replace your roof, depending on the size of your roof. From there, you'd be looking at the back deck, the front steps to be replaced. That can range anywhere between $4,000 to $10,000, depending on what you're replacing it with and how big the deck is. There's a great chance that you'll need to replace a few window panes as well, which can cost approximately $200 per window pane. So that can add up pretty quickly. So with that, you could also have some unexpected repairs, like, anything like plumbing fixtures or lighting or anything like that. Even appliances, which a lot of people don't really consider that initially when they purchase a previously lived-in home. They don't realize that, yeah, the appliances are included most of the time. However, if the appliances are 10 to 12 years old, they're at the end of their life, right? So you're going to have to replace that. And a set of kitchen appliances could cost you anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000, depending on the quality that you want to replace it with. So the next topic, that's one of my favorites here. We're going to talk about reputable home builders. So very important topic here. A reputable home builder is key to buying or not buying your new construction home. So a few questions you should ask yourself or ask your realtor or professional that you're working with is, how long has this builder been building homes? How many homes has he built in the past? Do they build a quality product? And what do they offer in terms of warranty packages, appliance packages, pave, landscape? All those things add up quickly if they're not included in the purchase price. So most times your professional that you're working with, your realtor, they will know a little bit about the builder. And if they don't, it is still their responsibility to give you a bit more information on who they are, how they work, so they can go to either their colleagues or they can ask the builder themselves to see, what their reputation is, how long they've been in the business. So it's very important to look into that aspect. I would also add to try and find homeowners that bought new construction homes from that builder and get their feedback. They might have been in a new construction home for the last few years. They can give you kind of their feedback on how it's been going, how the process worked with that builder, to see if it was nice and easy or if it was very hard to deal with him. That would be a very key point as well. So the last thing we're going to talk about here is new home warranties. So new home warranties can vary. Most builders will carry a home warranty with all of their new construction homes they sell. However, you can't assume that they will include one in there. So make sure that it's in your contract when you purchase the home, that there is a new home warranty that will be under that property and under your name on closing, so that you can ensure that you're covered. Now let's talk a little bit about warranties. A lot of people think that home warranties will cover everything from top to bottom in your home, and that's not the reality. The home warranty will make sure that you're covered on all the big stuff. So all the structural integrity of the home. So your foundation, your roof truss, your big items in there. If ever there's a problem or there's a defect in your foundation or your roof truss or stuff like that, the warranty will most likely cover those things. Now, your faucets and your crack in the walls and stuff like that, the builder usually will look at that. And if there is a defect that's not supposed to be there, they will most likely take care of that for you as a kind of a courtesy and as a promise from the builder to the client, to make sure that their product is reputable and to make sure that every client is very satisfied with the product at the end. Nothing's ever perfect. There's always deficiencies in new construction even. So the builder is usually very good with handling those things and making sure that everything's in good working order for the first couple of years. Now, I can't speak for every builder, so don't quote me on these things. I'm just talking from personal experience with my clients and what we've dealt with in the past. So in summary, there's a lot of things to consider before buying a new construction home. So make sure you consult with your professionals, your realtor, to support you and guide you through the process. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps you through the buying process of a new home. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more key information on your home buying and selling process. Till next time.